before I became a Hare Krishna, I was studying acting. I was an acting student in Melbourne, studying with a studio from New York. And when I became a Hare Krishna, it was a surprise to my family. They weren't expecting. I just came home one day and I said, I'm going to become a Hare Krishna. And my mother said, oh, what are you doing to your family? And they were surprised, and then I became a Hare Krishna and moved into the temple and became a monk, shaved my head and wore orange robes, saffron robes for 8 years as a monk. And then when I became a Hare Krishna and I did that, then my grandmother, she said to me, you're just a frustrated actor. You just want to dance down the street and everyone to look at you. I said, well, it's not exactly like that. I do like dancing down the street. I used to do it even before I became a Hare Krishna. Sometimes I just start dancing down the street and singing some David Bowie song or something. Mick Jagger and David Bowie, dancing in the street. I just do that. It's the kind of person I was. So when I became a Hare Krishna, it was fortunate for me because that kind of fits into my lifestyle and my personality. I like to dance, I like to chant, I like to celebrate like that. So this was a spiritual celebration to take us to a higher level of consciousness without intoxication, no drugs, and we can stay high just on the spiritual platform. So it's very powerful. So I've been living here now at Hare Krishna Valley for 10 years. As I was explaining to a few of you, because you're here for the first time, some people were asking, we brought this farm. It's 200 acres. When you drive in, there's a sign at the front. So from there all the way to here, it's about 200 acres. It's about a square kilometre in size. Situated right in the middle of the forest. We only have one neighbour. We're surrounded by forest on every other side. So it's like a little spiritual oasis. A very good place to have yoga retreats. If anyone would like to have any yoga retreats here, then... Oh, that's right, you're having a yoga retreat. Yeah. So a nice place to have retreat. We run retreats here regularly. And when I first came here, 10 years ago, we'd had the farm for about 30 years. The first 10 years, this was a school. These were classrooms. We had a Hare Krishna school. And then after about 10 years, the government, they were closing small schools in country Victoria because they were trying to merge all the small schools at the time. So we lost our funding. So our community kind of dissipated, and then all our students went to our other school at Murwillumbah, which is near Byron Bay. And that school's still going successfully up there. And for 10 years, this place was very quiet. There was only a couple of people here, just as caretakers. And then we came here, myself and Money. Money's the guy who was leading the chanting just then, big New Zealand guy. He's a farmer. His surname is actually Farmer. It couldn't be any more farming there. It's like he was born to be a farmer. So he grew up in that's his brother actually, Dougie, Douglas Farmer. So they grew up right out the back of New Zealand, running farms. That's all they've done their whole life. They ran farms. Now they came here to run this farm. So 10 years ago, myself and Money, we moved down here. He's running the agricultural side, looking after our cows. As I was explaining to some people, it's one of the only places in Australia where we have an ahimsa dairy. Ahimsa means non-violence. One of the only places in Australia where animals live, or anyone can live, without fear of being slaughtered. So the animals live there their whole life. They're born here, they pass away here. They live their whole lives. Chintamani, our oldest cow, how old was she? 23, 24. Yeah, usually cows, in the world, they live about 17, 18 years on average. Our cows will live longer because of their peace and the protection they receive. She just passed away. She was our last old from the old herd. She was 23, 24 years old. So now we have a new herd, which we're developing. We've got 17 animals. After we have the feast, you're welcome. We'll go down, if you want to join us, we'll go down and feed them. And you can pat them and hang out with them and like that. They've all got different personalities. We'll tell you which ones you can pat and which ones you can't pat. They're like human beings. Some of them have got different dispositions. Some of them enjoy being patted. You can pat them all day. And other ones you can't get near. Because it's just their personality. So they're running the agriculture side. We're growing organic vegetables here. We're about to start apparently a organic orchard very, very soon here. I was informed recently, some friends of ours said, oh, we've just raised $2,000 so you can start an organic orchard here. And I said, oh, that's nice. They hadn't discussed it with me yet, but they just told me we're raising money. They said, we're going to raise $15,000 so you can have an orchard. I said, oh, that's nice. So now we have to meet with them and discuss. So we'll start an orchard. And then my side of the retreat is up here. This is the retreat center side where we run the retreats. So we do regular yoga retreats, meditation retreats. We've got a retreat in January which we're running, a Bhakti Yoga retreat. And Linda, our good friend from PY Styles, it's an advertising commercial break. Best yoga school in Geelong by far. Linda's school, they're running a yoga retreat here probably about March or so like that. So different groups come here and they run retreats here. There's a beautiful retreat centre. So the mission of this place is to show people an alternative to the modern world. Because the modern world, how would you describe the modern world at this point in time?
Chaotic.
Chaotic. Okay. Any other words we could use to describe the modern world?
Stressful.
Stressful. Very good. Any other words we could use to describe the modern world?
Unbalanced.
Unbalanced. Very good. Any positive words we could use to describe the modern world at this point in time? Yeah. So the world should not be like that. Why should it be stressful, chaotic, and unbalanced? Why? Why? Is it necessary? It's not necessary, but unfortunately it's the way it is. Why is that? That means there is a problem with the leadership. Just like recently America elected a leader, what was the guy's name? Donald Trump, sorry. Donald Trump. So does he have the vision to fix the chaotic, unbalanced, stressful situation in the world, or are the current leaders going to increase the unbalanced, chaotic, stressful situation in the world? Pretty much every leader in the world, even though some of them have good intent, because there's a machine which is already running very powerfully, they just kind of go and they're trying to fix little parts of the machine. The machine has to be stopped and possibly redirected or dismantled or restarted. So Hare Krishna Valley, one of its main missions is to show people how we can have an alternative way of living, where people can live in peace and harmony with animals, with nature, with each other, and they have a spiritual focus in their life. One of the main defects of the modern world, people don't have a spiritual focus at this point in time. We call spiritual practice, what do we call it? Is anyone here a spiritual practitioner? Has like a yoga discipline or any kind of discipline? Or what do we call that in Sanskrit, in the ancient language? Our practice or our discipline.
Sadhana?
Very good, yeah. Sadhana. Sadhana means like a regular practice, something you do on a daily basis. We get up in the morning as Hare Krishnas, our sadhana, or our practice which you do on a daily basis, we get up in the morning and we do mantra meditation. So that meditation which we did just then, that mantra which we chanted just then, the Hare Krishna mantra, we do that for 2 hours a day. You want to sit on the couch with Michael? Yeah, just up there. Like that. Her back's a bit sore, so she needs. Yeah. Is the couch okay? Or, yeah. Do you want a chair or is the couch okay? It's okay. There's chairs up the back as well. So you're okay? Okay. So. Every morning, our sadhana is that we'll get up early in the morning. Usually we'll get up like 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. When I'm in India, I get up at 3:30 in the morning. We get up early. And then we chant that mantra we were just chanting before all together. We chant that on meditation beads for 2 hours a day. And that's our sadhana or our practice. So in the ancient world, people used to have a sadhana or a spiritual practice. That was a part of their daily life, because it keeps you focused and centered, right? So then you can actually be of value to other people in the world, plus yourself. But these days, the leadership is not encouraging us to have a sadhana or a spiritual practice. What is Donald Trump's spiritual practice? What's his sadhana? What does he do in the morning when he gets up? Like, what's his focus and his... I don't think he has one. I don't think he has a spiritual focus. I certainly know what he is focused on. There's two things I know for sure that he's focused on. One of them is women, and the other one's money, which is the great trap of materialistic consciousness or materialistic society. Right? Just have as much sex as you can, and get as rich as you can. And one of Donald Trump's mottos is, "He who dies with the most toys wins." That's one of his sayings. You know, whoever dies with the most, he wins. That's his focus. I was in India about 3-4 weeks ago, and I was having lunch with a friend, and my friend had another friend, and he's a tennis coach. He coaches some of the professionals on the circuit, not the big professionals, not like the Agassiz and the Djokovic, not that level, but you know, like the guys in the top 100. He's a coach, Peter Burwash. So he said he was at the US Open with Donald Trump, and they were in a box. He happened to be in the same box with Donald Trump. And he said the whole time, Donald had binoculars and he was just looking around at women in the crowd, right? And when he saw one that he liked, right, he'd say to his PA, his personal assistant, "Go and ask her to come to the box. Donald Trump is asking you to come and sit in the box." This is before he was the president. This is going back 5 years or something. So this is the consciousness. And now that kind of a person is the world leader. Supposed to be fixing all of our problems, our chaos, the unbalance and the stress. How are they going to fix it? Because the things which he's focused on is what's causing the chaos, the unbalance and the stress. So how's it going to work? So what do we need to do with the world? We need fresh leadership. So how are we going to get fresh leadership? At this point in time, I'm not sure. But if we do get it, it will be a lot better. So at least what we're doing, we're working organically. We're working on the ground level, right? We actually, Hare Krishnas have run for office before. In the US, we had a party. We tried to become the president of America. It didn't work. The world's not ready for us yet because we're a little bit radical at this point. Because if we get in control, we're going to stop a lot of things. We're going to stop people killing animals. We're going to abolish a lot of things. A lot of the problems, we'll just cut them out. The world's probably not ready for us right now. And also in Australia we had in the 1970s, one of our devotees, and he actually got 500 votes, I think, which is not bad back then. But up until that happens, at this point in time, we have to work from the grassroots to try to show people there is an alternative way to live. There's an alternative state of consciousness. And there's many people like us doing this around the world now. There's like a grassroots movement which is coming up, which is showing people a positive alternative. Just like yesterday I went to Geelong and there was a vegan festival down in the park. You were there as well? No? Yeah. So a lot of people we were speaking to are kind of on the same wavelength, of thinking in a different way. The way the world, using natural products, thinking about the products we're using, are they actually necessary? Are they harming others, both animals and humans? And so a lot of people are thinking about these things now.